Good afternoon. How y'all doing today? So, this last week has been a really big deep dive for me. I've been working on some stuff and spiritually, mentally, emotionally, we all have to go through those time frames in our life. And one of the things that I've been working on is fear based actions, reactions, emotions, what's from the outside, what's going on in the world today, and what I can do to shift consciousness. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you all is, aren't you tired of it too? It seems like everywhere I go, people have all these opinions, they've made decisions on, they've made all these judgments about, and I see tight lips and angry faces because we're not buying into each other's decisions, opinions, and judgments. And I find that it's all predicated on fear, what's triggering us. I watched a really good documentary. I highly suggest it. It's called uh, oh God, no, I can't remember. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. That's what it is. Some of you may have seen it. It came out last year. There were links to it. There might be DVDs. It's on Amazon Prime. It's free. And one of the things that I really thought about was all these people who are working together. They're really working to bring forth a whole level of awareness for each other, for themselves. And I feel like because we've been stuck in our houses, we've been separated, it's really damaged us. Now, a few years ago, when I first came back from Toronto to Albuquerque, I started a meditation group. We used to do this from our own homes on Monday nights. The concept was is that from your home, wherever you lived in the city, we did a focused meditation where we kind of met with the energy surrounding the city to let the energy drop and shift consciousness within the city and bringing light to the city. Yes, I'm going to go back to that. You can go to the page Albuquerque Vibrations. Um, I still have the meditations from when I was doing that. What stopped me was when my son died, and I let fear of and the PTSD of his death slow me in and slow me down, and I just was really hanging on tight to get through a really bad time in my life. And I let that aspect go because I couldn't think of connection. I felt so disconnected. And I noticed that during this pandemic time, we've all kind of been shuffling around doing the same thing. People are afraid of other people who may or may not wear a mask, who may or may not get the shot. And we're forgetting that we're all human beings living in existence predicated on what our experience is. So, whatever we're hearing and seeing is triggering our emotions and our actions and the commentary about what we should or shouldn't do. And we're formulating opinions based on what we're being told without going deep in and figuring out what we should be feeling. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to feel fear. I'm saying it's a bad thing to let fear consume us. I'm saying that we should be letting that emotion roll through us and still be able to connect in love to people who have a different opinion. Now, by the way we feel, and how those things are triggering us, that's where we make those decisions, where it's either a good thing or a bad thing. And we have that judgment, and that judgment is the pillar or the hill we stand on to die on. And it's crazy. We're allowing the world to run amok around us without really looking inside our heart and saying, it's okay to feel the fear. It's okay to be cautious. It's okay to have this experience because this experience is going to help me grow. this experience, instead of getting angry at it or feeling that fear, because fear comes before anger. Fear comes before every negative emotion that we have. And I don't care what we're watching on. I can't even watch the local news anymore because they're not saying anything positive. They're not even trying to put a positive spin on anything anymore. And it's all about attacking each other and creating a division. And who wins? Certainly not us. We're not winning. We're losing because we're struggling. We're sitting there going, I'm supposed to hate somebody. I'm supposed to love somebody. I'm supposed to, but we're not going within. Okay? So if we allow others to inflict the discomfort, that then we allow them to own a part of our heart and allow them to create a negative aspect in our life. So if we don't move through it and release it, it becomes a block. And that block becomes harder and harder to push. You know, it's like moving those parking blocks in front of car that they use at the parking lot in front of the cars. You can push with your car all you want. I mean, your car is pretty heavy unless you've got one of those big shovels and a big truck that you could really push with it, or a crane to lift it and move it. It's not moving. You can't push it with your hands, and that's what fear does to us. It creates those parking blocks, and it builds a pathway to create more negativity. So it creates a road for us to follow so that we allow more negative experiences in our life. And that blocks our pathways to our higher awareness. So when we have those higher awareness moments that goes, oh, it feels so good to connect when we meditate, and it really feels empowering, then we look at how that creates that moment of peace within our life. So with the parking blocks, you can't get there. You can't find the road to your higher consciousness because fear is consumed, and it slows your vibration down. And when our vibration drops, we scramble to create and do our work. Then we do silly things like we don't listen. We can't create our own work, so we start taking it from other people. We start taking topics of conversation and mimicking it because we can't find our own topic. We can't find our own pathway to our awareness. We're not connecting to what we should be saying so people can actually hear what we're saying. More importantly, we're creating blocks to where we can't hear what they're saying. And so we disconnect from the flow, and we disconnect in such a hard way that we're trying to emulate and mimic other people without feeling. And that's like going up there and saying, oh, like, I hate asparagus. I don't mind saying it. When I was a little kid, I'd smell asparagus and I knew my life was over that night. My mother and father did not let me leave the table unless I ate my asparagus, and just the smell of it made me sick. I can do steamed asparagus now, but back when I was a kid, my mom boiled that crap to death, and it was like a death sentence to me. So I had to pretend to myself and do everything I could to fight through to eat that asparagus. And life shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that difficult that everything that we look at looks like asparagus, because that's just not nice. That's creating imbalance within our spirit, and we can't connect to the forces that are out there that are willing to help heal us, who are people who are there to join with us to bring a higher light and a higher vibration with us and to us. And the other part of it is that when we let those blocks manifest, we don't work with our unique vibration. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Every one of us is unique. No two of us vibrate at the same rate. That is just not going to happen, because your cumulative life experiences are not my cumulative life experiences, and my vibration, my teachings, my thought process vibrates at a different rate. So until we get to that Christ consciousness where we can really be able to look into all our experiences without fear, without judgment, without condemnation, then I'm going to vibrate differently than you. And when we let ourselves vibrate together at a very peaceful meditation experience, then that vibration becomes more harmonic. We become more within the union together. This is true whether we're sitting in our houses or whether we're in a room together meditating. It's when we care to let go of those fears and focus on connecting to our higher self, that beautiful song is sung. And it's meant to be an inspiration to all, not to one person, not to one thing, but to all. And we grow that light, and that light becomes brighter. Fear, anger, resentment, well, the song that you would sing when you let that in, you'd be better off listening to me sing out loud, because holy cow, it's not melodic, it's not peaceful, it's like scratching your nails on a chalkboard on the worst level ever. So how do we bring that peace to ourselves? Well, some of you live in town, some of you don't. I'm going to be opening Resonant Essentials on Wednesdays from 4:30 to 6 for a free fall meditation. In other words, this isn't guided meditation. I'm not going to tell you guys where to go. I want you to feel free to come in, sit, and meditate. Have that experience of just being in communion with other meditators. You can join the Albuquerque Vibrations meditation. It doesn't matter where you're from. You can join that on Monday nights. I plan on going back to that. So if you're interested, comment at the bottom of this video or send me an email to albuquerquevibrations@gmail.com, and I'll put you on the list. And look for the posts. You can go and like the page Albuquerque Vibrations on Facebook. If you don't live in town but there's a meditation center somewhere in your town, create your own. Have friends over, sit in your backyard, sit in your living room, meditate. Not a guided meditation. Yes, on Monday nights we'll be doing a focused meditation, but just do a meditation just to hold space. There's no discussion after like, hey, what did you see? What did you feel? No, none of that. Just meditate and connect to your higher self. Just sit in the energy and find peace together. So you can create that no matter where you live, no matter where you are. There's always someone who will sit with you and meditate. These action, just the act of meditation, growing that light, will bring change to our world. It's fine and dandy if somebody likes to go do guided meditations, but accessing your higher consciousness is going to give you so many more answers and so much more vibrancy within your vibration, so much more connection. You're going to connect. Some of you might connect to ET. Some of you might connect to your spirit guide and teachers. Some of you may connect to the universe at large, and some of you may just connect to your grocery list, and you're going to have to try again next week. But that's okay, because every time we sit with the intention of meditation, we grow our light. I will say, remember to use that light. Build the energy within you from that light. Let it flow through you, into you, surround you, and let it feel that whole essence of who you are with absolute love divine. Because we need to start making changes. If we're not going to stand next to each other because we're in fear and we're going to battle this out because of politicians, or we're going to buy into the corporate crap, the one thing that we can do for ourselves is to bring peace in our hearts through meditation, through prayer, meditation, and connection, because you will connect to every other meditator out there no matter where they're at. That's what the collective consciousness is about. I know I talked with you guys many times about the collective consciousness, and what we put in that collective consciousness tips the scales. So we can keep allowing the corporate structures, the world structures, the politicians, the neighbors, the teachers, anybody who wants to create a fear-based life, churches, any of that, we can allow that to eat at us and hate each other, or we can win by letting our hearts be our guide, letting our higher consciousness connect, and being one with each other. We can heal each other. We can love each other. We can never be alone again, because you've got your spirit team, you've got your human team. And trust me, we can make these shifts in consciousness together. I believe in every one of you. I believe in everything that I'm saying. I know it because I know it's been done for me before. I've had my connection with universal love. It's been a hell of a 3-year process to get me through this dark stage of my life, but I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I know each one of you has had a moment of PTSD that has so rocked your world that it's brought you to your knees and you're scrambling trying to get out. Or you wouldn't be struggling and still trying to do this work. Think about how you want it to look. Pay attention to how you feel. Let the love consume you every morning. Build that energy. Know that you are a perfected being, and everything in your life is happening to bring you to a higher state of consciousness. I wish you all the best. Remember, Resonant Essentials will be open from 4:30 to 6 on Wednesdays. To come in, sit, bring a mat if you want. I'll have chairs set up just to sit and meditate with each other. My heart to all of yours. You all are wonderful. Mwah. Love you all. Bye now.